Let's quickly say, I'll send a quick email to.
Anyways, Shazil is not joining. He had dropped me a mail to send the recording. I don't know if
Okay.
Shruti, if you can just.
Yeah, I'll just send an email. Just see if she can join. Okay, all right, we can get started.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'll share my screen. Okay, today we will take up with special procurement. Okay, so this is nothing but a few types of procurement which SAP has classified it as a special procurement. Okay, so when we think special procurement, it starts with your subcontracting. Okay, so then you have your consignment. Okay, so you have your pipeline procurement. So you have your stock transport orders, which we already saw in our inventory part. Okay, so then finally you have something called third party. Okay, so these are the uh, five special procurements which will be taken care in your standard SAP system. Okay, so let us go one by one and let us see how exactly and what are the settings we need to do for the all the five this one. Okay, so basically I would be taking the first three. Okay, because they are purely related to your materials management. Okay, and this stock transport orders and third party, it's an integration with your sales and distribution. Okay, so to do this we need to create the sales organization, sales distribution channel and everything. Okay, so I would not be able to show you these two, but I have a document for the stock transport orders. I would be sharing with you those documents. Those are the standard SAP documents which would be required. Okay, and third party, again it's totally your SD related, this one. Okay, uh, a part. Okay, so I would not be able to touch upon this also. So only thing is I would be able to take up these four. Okay, so let us go with the first one, that is the subcontracting process. Okay, so subcontracting process is nothing but a process which is most commonly used in your manufacturing industry. Okay, so that is to assemble. I am just giving an example. To assemble your part A, okay, so you would be requiring two child parts. Okay, so that is part 1 and part 2. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, so this, to assemble part A we would be requiring this two parts, part 1 and part 2. I can say this as a parent uh, part or mother part. Okay, and this as a, these two as your child parts. Okay, so this is uh, the concept of subcontracting is we would be sending the child parts to the vendor. Okay, and he would be processing it and giving us the parent part, that is the mother part or part A. for example I am saying, okay, but the part number while sending of your child parts would be same, but once you receive your mother part, for this it would be different. Okay, so this is the difference. There will be change in the part numbers once it comes to our before sending the assemblies. It would be they would be having different part numbers, but once it has been processed or it has been assembled, and once we receive it in our this one, okay, to our premises, the part numbers would be different, and it is always called as your mother part. Okay, so basically what are the steps that we need to follow in your subcontracting processes? The first thing is you should create, okay, your child parts, okay, your child part and mother part. Okay, that is, for both of this you should have a material master. Okay, that is the material master. Material master should be there. Okay, so next in your material master, okay, in material master, okay, in MRP view you need to maintain special procurement status. Okay, that is, special procurement status should be maintained, so that when you run an MRP, okay, the purchase requisitions are generated. Okay, the purchase requisitions are generated for your child parts. Okay, so if you don't run an MRP, no issues, you can directly process it further also. Okay, so once these two steps are done, then we need to create BOM. Okay, that is your bill of material. Okay, so your bill of material is nothing but it gives the details of a particular assembly or a particular component, I can say. To produce, I'm just giving an example, to produce part A, okay, I would say I need, okay, I need one piece of part 1, okay, and one piece of part 2. Okay, so this is how we can justify one piece of part 1 and one piece of part 2. This relationship we would be maintaining it in your BOM, in your bill of material. Okay, so this bill of material is created by using T code CS01. Okay, that is your transaction code CS01. Okay, so this bill of materials and all would have already been maintained by your production planning consultant. Okay, we need not worry about this. Okay, so once if you say subcontracting material, then the bill of materials would be maintained by those people. Okay, so it would be done by your CS01, that is your transaction code. Okay, and once all these are done, then while creating PR, okay, or PO, okay, the item category should be L. Okay, that is your subcontracting. The item category should be L. Okay, and your account assignment may be anything. It can be blank. Okay, account assignment can be blank or to cost center. Okay, it can be blank or to cost center. Okay, so this is the cycle. Okay, so once we create a PR or a PO, okay, if we create PR, then it should get converted to PO. Okay, so once the PO is created, okay, we need to send material to hold on, we need to send assemblies to vendor. Okay, so that is done by your MB1B, that is your issuing. Okay, so you are issuing by MB1B or MIGO. Okay, both of them will holds good. Either it is MB1B or MIGO. Okay, and you would be sending it by a movement type called 541. Okay, so this is the movement type involved to send the material to the vendor. Okay, so once we send the material to the vendor, we can go and view the stock. Okay, we can go and view the stock in our system, like how much we have sent to the vendor and what is the available stock. Okay, that can be taken care by your transaction ME20. Okay, so this is about your stock viewing. Okay, so once this is done, then the vendor returns the material. Okay, he does some machining, he does some value addition. Okay, and he also sends it back to the premises, that is to the factory premises. Okay, at that time we would be doing a MIGO with respect to PO. Okay, with respect to PO and with movement type 101. Okay, so this movement type 101 will be applicable. Okay, that is this 101 movement type will be applicable to your to your mother part. Okay, I can say to final assembly. Okay, 101 movement type will be applicable to final assembly. Okay, and the child parts which you have sent or the sub assemblies. Okay, I can say this as sub assemblies which you have sent, which has been sent, will be with movement type 543. That is, it says it has been consumed. Okay, 543 shows stock consumption against, okay, against your subcontracting. Okay, so these are the process which are required to be done. Okay, but this last two steps, whatever I have told, that system will take care automatically. Okay, so we need not do anything for this. Once we do the MIGO for the main assembly or for the mother part, okay, the sub assemblies movement type will automatically get converted to your this one 543 movement type. Okay, that is stock consumption against your subcontracting order. Okay, so these are the steps which we need to follow. Okay, so these are the steps which we need to follow for our subcontracting process. Okay, so it is very simple. We would be sending the sub assemblies to the vendor. He in turn process it and sends a new assembly for us. Okay, so that is your subcontracting. He does some value addition for that. Okay, we should not get confused wherein he would be machining and giving it to us. Okay, so see, there is confusion between your subcontracting and your services. Okay, so in your subcontracting, the assemblies would be having different part numbers. Okay, but in your services they would be having the same part numbers once we receive. Okay, they would have same part numbers once we receive from the vendor. Okay, so once received from vendor. So see, in services what we do is we give a steel plate and we tell him to drill 10 mm hole in that and give it to us. That is a service. Okay, but in your subcontracting we ask him to drill a 10 mm hole and fix a bolt for that. Okay, so once the bolt is fixed, the part number gets changed. But once in the services, even though he drills a hole in that, the part number doesn't change. It's just a service, because we are not having that facility, or due to the load constraint. Okay, we are not able to process that machining, or we are not able to process that operation in our assembly line. Okay, so that is the difference between your services and subcontracting. Okay, so we need to be very careful while going for any implementation or understanding the scenarios. We need to ask them in the real time whether the part which is sent would be having the same part number or it's a different part number, like how they are treating. Okay, or is it a service or is it a subcontracting? Everything we need to uh, uh, collect. We need to gather the requirement from them. Okay, so this is about the subcontracting process. Okay, so now let us go to the system and let us create a material now. Okay, so let us do the subcontracting cycle. Okay, so mm01. So here, okay, so let us go with the SFP1. Okay, SFRM. Okay, I'll just say this as subcon 1. Okay, this is one child part, I can say. Okay, so then you have your material group. Okay, so here you can specify it as PD. Okay, so that is MRP type. Okay, so if you want to order it with the manual, you can specify it as VB. Okay, so you can say EX and enter MRP controller. Okay, so procurement, I will say both. Okay, or I can say this as external. Okay, but I would be keeping this as both. Okay, so here is where we need to give the special procurement. Okay, in the material master, that is we need to say this material is a subcontracting material. Okay, so this is the one. Next, you can just take this GR processing time not required one, your schedule margin key, enter. So once this is done, you can define your strategy group also, that is make to stock, make to production. All these are your strategy groups. So here is your accounting. So we'll say R300. This is my this one, and I'll give my standard price as 10. Okay, so subcon 1 is the part number, 1564 is my part number. Okay, that is one child assembly, I can say. Okay, 1564. Okay, so similarly I'll create one more material. Okay, so sales, purchasing, I don't want my work scheduling view, so I'll remove accounting, costing and everything. Okay, so far I'll say this as subcon 2. Okay, so this each, enter. Okay, enter. So I'll take up PT. Okay, so enter. Now my two child parts have been created, that is 1564 and 1565. Okay, so for this let me go and create a assembly. Okay, so if I assemble 1564 and 1565, I get a new material, or I get a new part number which is used differently. Okay, so now I'll create that. So without creating the materials, we cannot go and process this subcontracting. Okay, so creation of material is mandatory. So I'll say this as subcon part, subcon part 10. Okay. Enter. Yes. Okay. So 1566 is my final assembly. Okay. So this is the one subcon part. Now we have created three materials. Okay. That is two child components and the mother component, sub assemblies and the main assembly. Okay. So now for this sub assembly, for this main assembly, let us go and maintain a BOM, that is your bill of material. Okay. I'll say I'm running the transaction code CS01. Okay, say enter. So this is my mother part. Okay, I'll give my plant SFP1, and the BOM usage, most of the time it is your production BOM which we maintain. Okay, I'll say enter. Okay, so now here we need to give the sub assemblies to make one part of your 1566. What are the components required? Okay, so I'll go and give 1564, quantity is 1. Okay, so similarly 1565, quantity is 1. Okay, your unit of measure would be each. Okay, each. Okay, so now press enter. So this is how you maintain your bill of materials. Okay, so to maintain, to create or to manufacture one piece of your 1566 part numbers, we require each piece of 1564 and 1565. Okay, so now I'm just saving this so that my BOM is completed. Okay, so this is how I am creating my BOM. See here, creating BOM for material 1566. It is done. Okay, so now let us go and make a purchase order, or we can go with the purchase requisition also. Let us go with purchase requisition, ME51N. See, actually every time your process starts with purchase requisition only. Okay, so without purchase requisition we would not be processing a PO. Okay, so here is where I am talking. Your item category should be L for your subcontracting. Okay, so then only we can identify a difference between the normal purchase orders and the subcontracting purchase orders. Okay, so here I give my mother part, that is 1566. I am not going to make a PO for my child parts. It is for the mother part, for which I make a purchase requisition or a purchase order. Okay, I'll say each. Okay, so here material group, let me just press enter. Okay, so it's asking me to enter the purchase group. Let us enter it. Enter. Okay, so now I'm going to click on check button to see any discrepancies in the document. Okay, so no discrepancies. I'm going to save this. So I have not given account assignment, it is blank. Okay, so your purchase requisition 8864 is done. Okay, so now this 8864 we will convert into a PO. Okay, so here let me enter the vendor and let me enter the purchase organization also. This is big. So it's asking me us to enter the price. Let us enter the price. I'll say 10. Okay, so once you do this, then we need to go to material data. We need to explode the BOM, or we need to check the components. Okay, we need to check the components. See here, these are the components which are required to make your 1566. Okay, so now let us go and explode the BOM.
Chandra, the price you gave is the manufacturing price?
No, it's not the manufacturing price. It's the price charged by your vendor to process this operation for subcontracting.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to explode the bomb now. Okay, so this is the bomb explosion which we have done. Okay, so requirement quantity, it should be 1. Let me just say this as well. Why it is taking? Okay, so we have exploded the bomb, and let us check for the discrepancy. Okay, I am going to save this. Okay, so now our purchase order 4519317 is created. Okay, so in this purchase order we would be having the child parts which we need to be send it to the vendor. Okay, so this is the hold on, components. These are the components which needs to be sent to the vendor for processing. Okay, so once I send it to the vendor, he processes these two materials and gives me assembly 1566. Okay, so now let us send this to vendor, that is, let us issue the material to the vendor. Okay, so we were talking about MB1B. Issue in the sense we would be doing a transfer posting basically. Okay, so now here if I go, we would do transfer posting with the movement type 541. See here, transfer posting to stock with subcontracting from unrestricted use. Okay, so this is the one, SFRM, enter. Okay, so vendor would be the same, so I'll say what is this, 1564 1565. I'll say 1 quantity each, enter. Okay, see here, the below we have an error message saying deficit of unrestricted use 1, because we don't have stock to issue this material to the subcontracting. We have just created the material in the system, but in real time it would not be like that. Physically the system, the material would be available, the part numbers would be available, but in the system they would have not updated it, or the stocks would have not been uploaded. Okay, so at that time what we need to do is we need to upload the stock. Okay, we need to upload the stock of the child assemblies. Okay, so that would be done by two things, two ways. One is by your production order. Okay, one is by your production order, and the other one is by your 561 movement type. Okay, this is initial stock upload. Okay, so where did I go? See, in the production order, it is the automatically the company produces it and puts it in the stock. Okay, at that time we would not be having any issues. The material will be available and we can directly go and issue it. But if that is not the case, for our test purpose, or since we are practicing here, we would be going for a 561 movement type. That is, we would upload the stock into the system, okay, which I have already shown during our inventory management. Okay, so to upload the stock we can use MV1C. Okay, and we can give here 561 movement type and say enter. Okay, so before going to that, let us go and check the stock for these sub-assemblies. MMVE. Okay, so 1564, this is the one. See here, it is blank, we don't have any stock at all. Okay, so now what we will do is we will go, I'll say 1564 and I'll say 1565. Okay, I'll put it as 10 and 10. Okay, so say enter. So we are uploading stocks of 10 quantity for both of the material. Okay, I am saying post. Okay, account determination INT GBP 001. Shit. So OBYC, some linking has we have not done. Okay, GBP. What is this? .001 VSX R300. So this is your 001 BA6 R300. So 89, this is the one. So in real time we are not supposed to do like this. Okay, proper linking of your accounting and this one should be there. Okay, account determination process. Okay, so since this is a test system, we are trying to do this. Okay, enter. Okay, so now we have posted. Okay, the stocks have been uploaded. However, this would not be having an accounting document. Okay, your BSX, your 561 movement type would not be having your accounting document. Now, if I go to MMPE, that is your stock overview. Okay, and say continue. See here, 10 numbers has been uploaded for one subassembly. Okay, similarly for your 1565 also we would be having the same scenario. Okay, enter. See, 10 numbers. Okay, so now what we will do is we will issue this material. Okay, we need to issue this material by using transaction code MB1C. Okay, and with the movement type 541, which I showed you previously. Okay, so say enter. Sorry, it is MB1B, not MB1C. MB1B. You can do it in MIGO also. Okay, so I am using this transaction code. Okay, it's a transfer posting. Enter. So here the vendor 1564. Okay, and 1565. 1. Okay, so this is 1. Say enter. Okay, so now let us post this. Okay, so now let us go and check the stock, like what would be the stock position. Okay, so I'll say MMBE. So if I say 1564, see here, stock provided to vendor 1 piece. Okay, and in our store we have got 9. Okay, that is 9. So now once you provide this stock to vendor, right, for that also you would not be having the accounting document. Okay, MV03. Okay, so this was the latest accounting one which we gave. See here, 541 WO, 541 WO. Okay, so if I go to accounting document, we will not be having an accounting document for this. See here, does not include any accounting document. Okay, so next, once there is one more transaction also, say ME2O. Okay, here also you can find what is the outstanding materials, or what are the materials which we have given to this subcontracting vendor for stock monitoring. Okay, ME2O is the transaction code. Now if I execute this, okay, so you have 1564, 1565. Okay, when you have given it, and this is the previous one, that is 1559. Okay, so you can just see what are the components here. No, it will not, this one, what I can say, it will not affect our accounts, because we are just giving it. Okay, we are just issuing it, but in turn we would be booking those issual against the mother part. Okay, this is something that that is the reason, that is the difference between, that is the subcontracting process, I can say. Okay, but if you give it for a service, then an accounting document will be generated, normal issue to the vendor. Okay, you would be sending your parts outside your factory premises. Okay, so this is how the vendor the stocks can be monitored in the system. Okay, so now I'll come out of this. Okay, I'll come out of this. Let us make a goods receipt. Okay, so we will assume that the vendor has finished the machining, he has finished the assembly. Okay, he has finished the sub-assembly, assembling the sub-components, and he would be sending us the final component. Okay, so after doing this, we need to go for MIGO, that is, we need to do this step. Okay, so we have already done the steps, all the steps. Okay, so we are yet to do the rest of the steps, that is, we need to create a PO. Okay, we need to create a PO and then takes the material inside in our factory premises. Okay, so now let us go to MIGO. Enter. Okay, so for this MIGO we need to make a goods receipt. So 19317, this is the one. Say enter. Okay, so I'll give my delivery note 5454. Okay, so material, see, this is the subcontracting mother part. Okay, this is the final assembly. So okay, this is the final assembly. Then you have your quantity, we are receiving one quantity. Okay, so similarly if I go to where I need to enter my storage location. Okay, so purchase order data, partner, this is all same. Now if I go to the line item and if I click on this plus, we can see the child parts which are associated with this. Okay, sub-assemblies I can say. Okay, so now if I select this sub-assembly and if I go to material, okay, see here, this is the sub-assembly, and if I go to quantity, it is 1, where it is the from the plant it has taken, but the important thing is we need to observe the movement type. It is 543. Okay, while issuing we gave 541. Okay, to the vendor. Now while making a PO, while making a goods receipt, the movement type of your sub-assemblies would be 543. This is consumption against your subcontracting PO. Okay, so consumption of your what? Child component or the sub-assemblies against a subcontracting PO. Okay, 543. See here, consumption from stock of material provided to vendor. Sorry, consumption from stock. Okay, consumption from stock of material provided to the vendor. That is, we are saying whatever the material we have provided, it has been consumed. Okay, so this is the 543 movement type for all your in all of your subcontracting process. For your child components, 543 movement type is mandatory. Okay, the system picks it automatically. Okay, we need not do any changes. The system picks automatically and it processes it. Okay, I'll say item okay and say item okay for this also, and we will make a goods receipt. Okay, I'll just click on check button. See here, again there are some accounting issues. Okay, VBO is nothing but the this one, what I can say, the account category which is used for your subcontracting, this one. Okay, so we need to maintain this GBB 001 VBO. Okay, so let us go and maintain this. So in real time we should be very careful. We need to check all these things before running the actual cycles in the production. Okay, 001 VBO. Triple 001 VBO R300. VBO is for your subcontracting. That is the parts, the under VBO you record the price whatever you have given for your this one vendor. Okay, so I'll show you. We'll go with the accounting entries also, because it is a very important question in your interviews. There will be some 6 accounting entries. We will analyze and we will discuss on that. Okay, so now I'm done. So let me go on, click on check again. Okay, so no issues. This is a warning. Before 27th I was supposed to make a GR, which I have done. Okay, so now I'm going to post this. BSV, this is stock provided to vendor. This also we need to maintain. Okay, so for this, what is that? BSV R300. Where is it? BSV. See here, change in stock account. There will be change, right? So that is in your stocks. See, all these things I could have maintained previously also, but I wanted you to know like where all the errors would be appearing. So that is the reason I have not maintained. Okay, so FRL, this is also one entry. This FRL entry is again related to your subcontracting part. Okay, so hold on. FRL is nothing but your service charges, I can say. Okay, so for your subcontracting, see here, external activity. Four 17001. Okay, so now, so we maintained it for VBB, we maintained it for BSV, and for your FRL also. Okay, so let me just check this. And post it. So we should not get any further errors is what I presume. Let us see. Okay, fine. Okay, so now let us display this material document. Document info, FI documents, accounting document. Okay, see here you have around 8 entries which you would be having it. Okay, so here again this GBB BSX, GBB BSX, GBB BSX, it is for your child components. Okay, that is finished goods inventory is getting updated and one is getting consumed. Okay, finished goods entry is updated and one is getting consumed. Okay, so next your, this is for your what, for processing the, this one, what I can say, a vendor charges are applicable to process your sub-assemblies. Okay, so that is your purchase services. Okay, FRL. Okay, and then that is, I can simply say it as subcontracting charges. Okay, I can simply say this as subcontracting charges. Okay, so then once this is done, then we have your consumptions. Okay, consumption of these child components, and finally at the top you have your stock update for your finished goods. Okay, so these are the entries which are going to hit whenever you are going to what, make a subcontracting cycle. Okay, so in a simple way how I can say is BSX. Okay, it stands for stock account assembly. stock account for assembly and finished. Okay, so similarly your what BSV, this is change in subcontracting stock. Okay, your FRL is basically your subcontracting charges. Okay, and then you have your BSX, two more BSX you have, right? That is change in uh, stock account for components, I can say. Okay, stock account for components. Okay, components. Okay, so this stock account for components can vary. Okay, to manufacture one mother part you may require 5 child parts. Okay, at that time you would be getting these bottom entries are there, right? Consumption, finished goods inventory, consumption, you would be getting more. Okay, so this is different. Okay, but the next one is your VBO. VBO do we have? No, we don't have VBO, not an issue. But in some cases you would be having VBO also. Sorry, not VBO, it's GBB, I believe. Hold on one second. Yes, this GBB I'm saying. This GBB, consumption. Okay, so consumption account of your components. Change in consumption account of components. So these are the things which we need to keep in mind. Okay, so these are the accounting entries. Okay, so stock account for assembly and finished. Okay, this will be always your debit. Okay, debit in the sense it is always your plus. Okay, change in subcontracting stock, BSV, it is always your credit, that is your minus. Okay, so next your FRL, it will be debit, it is plus for us. Okay, so I'll say debit. Okay, so similarly for your stock account for components it is always minus, credit. Okay, sorry. Okay, and finally your consumption account for components, this is again a debit, GR. Okay, so in this way you need to present, that is this is a compulsory question in interview. They will definitely ask you what would be your accounting entries in your subcontracting cycle. We should be able to explain this. Okay, so this is how your subcontracting cycles are carried out. Okay, so next if we go to the the mother part, that is 1566, this was my mother part. Okay, and if I say enter or if I refresh this, okay, see here, sorry, 1566, right? Hold on. See here we have got 1 in the system. Okay, so this is how we create the subcontracting cycle in the system, in the standard SAP system. Okay, so this is about your subcontracting part. Okay, so now let us go to one more procurement. Yes, this is the new part. Your 1566 is the new part, but new part in the sense physically it will be a new part, but in your material master we need to create it first, right? No, 1566 is not the old material, it is a new part. Okay, anything when I want to make a GR, when I want to transact, okay, when I want to make a transaction, that should be get recorded in my material master first. Then only I would be able to do my goods receipt or any other transaction. Okay, so new part is 1566, which is already there in the material master. Okay, so now Next, we will go to one more special procurement type. Okay, so that is your pipeline. Okay, so this pipeline, most of the time it is used in your oil and petroleum industries. Okay, and the best example for your pipeline procurement is your in your day-to-day life is your electricity. Okay, right, your electricity, your gas lines. Okay, your this one, what, water lines. Okay, your potable water or utility which we use in our daily purpose. Okay, these are the best examples for your pipeline procurement. Okay, so this is nothing but whenever we consume, we are going to pay them. If we don't consume, then we are not going to pay them. Okay, so in your oil industries, your pipelines are would be your pipelines would be coming up to your production area. Okay, so only when you consume, you would be paying for them, paying to the vendor. Okay, so now first we need to create pipeline material. We need to create pipeline material first. Okay, then an info record. Okay, then a source list. I'm just explaining you the steps. Okay, then once the source list is done, please keep in mind we are not going to make a purchase order for this. Okay, this is the pipeline procurement. Only when we consume, we are going to pay them. We are not going to make a PO for this. Okay, but we would be doing a goods issue and against pipeline consumption by movement type 201P. Okay, and finally, yes, this has a similar concept of consignment. Yes, but in your consignment you make a PO, but in your pipeline you don't make a PO. This is the major difference. Okay, and next you issue the goods by 201P and then you settle it. That is, you post an invoice or you are going to settle this transaction by your MRKO. Okay, this is the transaction which is used to settle. Okay, so without this you would not be able to settle this. Okay, and invoice documents gets generated automatically. Now let us go and create a material. Okay, that is with pipeline. So this is my pipeline material. Hold on. Yeah, pipeline material. Okay, say enter. See here, you don't have purchasing view. You should not have purchasing view. Okay, but somebody has given, so you need not maintain the purchasing view also for this because you are not going to make a PO for this. Okay, accounting view, basic data. Okay, I'll say SFP1. I'll say pipeline material. Okay, I'll say this as each, enter. So we came to our accounting. I'll say the valuation. I'll say moving average price as 10, enter. Okay, it would be having its own pipeline, this one. Okay, and say yes. Okay, so I'm giving 3000. Okay, 1033 is the material. So for this 1033, let us go and maintain ME11. So SFPO, enter. Okay, not maintained by purchasing. Let me maintain it. Sorry, we need to maintain it. 1033 purchasing. Okay, it is done. So now let us go with ME11 and sorry, we need to maintain pipeline info record. Okay, we need to maintain a pipeline info record. Okay, so I say enter. It's maintain, no, hold on, MM01. SFP1. Each. Okay, fine. Say evaluation class 10. So 1034, let me just check this. Okay, ME11, we need to select the pipeline, this one, info record, say enter. Okay, fine, now this is fine. I'll say enter. Delivery time 2, purchase group 0, standard quantity 10, not required, but still I am giving because most of them will be in the liquid format. Okay, so we need to give tax code here. This is mandatory. Okay, so I'll say output tax should be V0 is what I'll give, because if you don't give your tax code, it will not allow you to settle it. Oh shit. Just say no, it will be taken care by finance. So this is done. Purchase info record is created. Now let us go and maintain a source list ME01 034. Okay, valid from, I'll say 22.01.2015. 22.01.2015. This is the vendor SFPO. Okay, enter. Okay, just save this. Now this is done. Now let us issue the material. Okay, let us go to MB1B and issue it. Okay, so here we are going to do it for 201P. Sorry, it is MB1A. MB1A for your issuing. $201P consumption for cost center from pipeline. Okay, 201P. So enter here 1034. I'll say quantity as 1. Okay, your cost center SFC1. Enter. Okay, so unable to determine calculation schema. Okay, no issues. I am going to save this. Okay, so now this, if I go and display this, you would be having a accounting document. Let us see. Yes, you would be having an accounting document which says what has been debited and what has been credited. Okay, so your KON is nothing but your pipeline payable. Okay, that is your consumption account will be what? Credited. Sorry, will be debited. It is plus. Okay, and your pipeline account will be credited. That is minus. Okay, that is your KON is minus. That is your credit, and your GBB. Okay, that is debit plus. Okay, so this is how the accounting entries would be seen for your consumption and similarly for your consignment also. Okay, so now we have done the issual. Okay, so now we have done the issual. For this issual we need to go and settle. Okay, we need to settle the payment. Okay, so that is done by using your transaction code MRKO. Okay, say enter. So you can give your vendor for whom you want to select 91.1. Okay, and see here processing display. Okay, you can just display it. Okay, I'll say display it. See here, this is the one, right, which has not been settled. SFP1 1034 is the material. Okay, so this has not been settled. Okay, so now let us go and settle this. That is, we will post an invoice. An invoice will get generated automatically. Okay, so now I'll select this radio button as settle and proceed further. See here, invoice document has been generated. This is the one. Consignment settlement, no message was found for partner company. Okay, no issues. But this is the invoice document. So if I click on this, okay, there is some error wherein I cannot display this, but your invoicing has been generated. Okay, so this is how you settle your pipeline procedures. Okay, so this is how you settle the pipeline procurement. Okay, so this is about your pipeline and the subcontracting part. Okay, so in my next class, that is tomorrow, let us take up with your consignment. Okay, and probably we'll try to cover up with your invoice verification. Okay, consignment is a small topic. Okay, so let us try to cover that and proceed further with the invoice verification part. Okay, so any doubts in this, your subcontracting and pipeline?
No.
Okay, fine then. Okay, so tomorrow also we will meet up at same time, that is 6 o'clock. Okay, and we will try to finish with this consignment and the invoice verification. Okay, so one more thing is I would send 2 documents for your stock transport orders. Okay, you can keep that as reference and you can proceed further. Okay, I will not be able to complete those topics in my regular class, this stock transport orders. Okay, so however we have taken up other stock transport orders. Okay, hold on, I'll just show you. The one which we have marked in yellow color, right, this requires your what, sales and distributions integration part, which I would not be able to show here, but I have a document wherein what configuration needs to be done by procurement side. That document I have, you can keep that as a reference and you can proceed further. Okay, I'll be sharing that document probably by end of day today. Okay, so this I would not be covering, but the consignment part and the invoicing verification we will do it tomorrow. Okay, okay then tomorrow we'll meet at the same time. Thank you.